they did me dirty. They making me do the whole video over again. But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. The question we have is, does Dillian Whyte, or did he do enough against Robert Helenius to deserve a fight with Deontay Wilder? Now, here's the thing. Robert Helenius, back in the early 2010s, used to be considered one of the next fighters to take over for the Klitschko era. And then we're talking about in 2009, 2010, and then 2011, he met Derek Chisora. Of course, you know a lot of people feel that Derek Chisora beat Dillian Whyte. Now, the fight with the distance, if I'm correct, it was a unanimous decision because I'm a little behind, but I did watch the fight and I had the sound off when they were reading the cards. So, Derek Chisora, excuse me, Dillian Whyte had some issues the first couple of rounds. But after a while, you started to notice and Carl Frost said it, that Robert Helenius is starting like to become like complacent, and he's looking like a journeyman or some shit, right? He's not looking like a guy who's going out there to win in the biggest fight of his career, because he's not going to get another chance like this. Now, not only was this a showcase fight, or supposed to be a showcase fight for Dillian Whyte against Deontay Wilder, but Robert Helenius is also pretty skilled. And if you can see, especially with his hooks to the body, he was known before to be a very devastating body puncher and a very accurate fighter. So you can see he was using his reach, he was using his height, and he was moving around the ring, but he wasn't throwing any punches. Almost like when he did get knocked out by Johan Duhaupas, who just so happened got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. So the narrative going into this fight, and I'm not saying this because I don't call fighters bums. The narrative of going into this fight, because I'm saying Robert Helenius is pretty good. So people are saying, well, he's a bum who got knocked out by a Deontay Wilder bum, because people don't respect Deontay Wilder's resume. But the question I've been asking is Dillian Whyte, or is Dillian Whyte going to be the best name on that resume? You know? So that's the issue I'm having. I'm wondering that, for $7 million, because that's the money that Deontay Wilder's asking for $7 million. Is that money in the UK? Can Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder, or Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte, with the prize being Anthony Joshua in the UK, do 20 to 30, thousand households? Fans. And what about pay-per-view? How does that factor in? Because see, I understand that Deontay Wilder has some issues over here. He's not a big draw. That fight with him and Luis Ortiz in New York would have been a fight where a lot of people would have come out to travel for that, because it was Luis Ortiz, and because Luis Ortiz was considered to be a very, very feared heavyweight. But even in Alabama, it's been known that Deontay Wilder's had some issues selling tickets where he's from. So I'm thinking Deontay Wilder needs the hardcore fan support for them to come out to watch him in a big fight. So if Anthony Joshua was to come over here to the States, that would be a perfect fight for Vegas, because at least we know that they'll travel over here and it'll sell out. But the way things is looking for Anthony Joshua right now, he can sell out anything with whatever plan they got going on, because even if it was Kubrat Pulev before Carlos Takam, it's still 78,000. He did 90,000 before. It's like, my God, So there is a lot of questions, but you're gonna have people looking at Dillian Whyte. It's like, oh well, you got people looking at it like, oh well, he couldn't even stop Robert Helenius, who Deontay Wilder bum knocked out. So that's going to carry him around, and it's just, like, I like Dillian Whyte, and I feel he could pose a little bit of issues for Deontay Wilder, but I do feel Deontay Wilder would knock him out, but he can knock Deontay Wilder out too. I do feel Deontay Wilder is the better skilled fighter. My bad. They made me do the video over again. Sky Sports is tripping. So I got to do the video over again. So this is supposed to be the time, like, where I'm ordering the food and everything, getting ready for the Joshua fight, because it's on right now. So this is a reshoot of a video I did like moments ago. So I'm kind of pissed. But anyway, I just don't see. I don't see Dillian Whyte beating Deontay Wilder, but knowing this political thing that's going on with Eddie Hearn knows that Dillian Whyte. Okay, here's the situation. Dillian Whyte is the WBC Silver Champion. Dillian Whyte will be the mandatory if he wins one more fight, unless the WBC just makes him the mandatory. Because one, they can say, okay, we're going to order Dillian Whyte to fight such and such in a title eliminator. Now, Eddie Hearn is trying to bypass that because since Luis Ortiz is still not listed as injured, is he's still listed as WBC rankings, they could order Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz. You see what I'm saying? But Dillian Whyte could be, if Luis Ortiz passes, or if Dillian Whyte or if the WBC decide to just make Dillian Whyte the mandatory, then Eddie Hearn knows, like, well, Deontay Wilder, you're going to have to fight him anyway. And since Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua is WBA, IBF champion, they're not going to strip him. And also, mandatory champions don't have to be forced to fight champions. And Joseph Parker would fight Anthony Joshua before he would fight Deontay Wilder. So Deontay Wilder's in a tough situation, and Eddie Hearn knows this. And he's using the politics, and it's true, it's a shame, but when Deontay Wilder was fighting those voluntaries trying to get that Povetkin fight, taken care of, and listen, I'm not blaming Deontay Wilder for nothing. He's done nothing wrong, but at this point in time, he needs a name on his resume. He knows he needs a name on his resume, and he needs some big money. The question I have is, UK fans are strong. I feel that, like, if Eddie Hearn does it right, can Deontay Wilder get $7 million? But then how much would Dillian Whyte get? So Deontay Wilder $7 million, Dillian Whyte about $3 million. Where would that money come from? Can they do that? And it can't happen here in the States. It would have to happen over in the UK. Can they do it? But if that fight's going to be the next fight, Dillian Whyte didn't do nothing to say, oh, wow, we really hyped to see that fight. It's not going to be a fight where American fans are going to be like, oh, shit. Because a lot of people were interested in this Dillian Whyte fight. A lot of people ask me, yo, ain't that dude that's talking that shit from over in England? That's what they say, even though he's not from England. From England, but they'll say something like not knowing from. But they're like, yo, that dude from the UK over in England was talking that shit about Wilder when he fight. And then they see that performance, but it wasn't a bad performance depending on if you know who Robert Helenius is. But whatever. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. Please subscribe.